shift gears here. Fred, some dust got kicked up this week about these statues up in Washington.
Yeah.
And I know you've had a lot of arrows shot at you already.
Yeah.
Some friendly fire, even from me. Would you explain to people how that ended up on your desk and what that whole situation is?
Sure. There's no bill, there's no resolution, there's nothing to do anything. Simply that this past session, I'm the rules chairman, so that would go through my committee. And I had some reporters ask me about it, and I simply told them, we had, so many big things going on this session, I couldn't even look at it because that would be a massive topic. It's divisive on both sides. So I told them I would at least have time this session coming up to look at it. I didn't say I was going to do anything, nothing like that. Because there's multiple things to take into account. How much money does it cost? Obviously, it'd be a lot of money. And two, the main thing is, if that is something that the body wanted to do, would I even have the votes to do it? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But, just looking at those things. And, some people, to be quite honest with you, after you talked about it on the show, my phone blew up with Republican support to do it.
Yeah.
Now I'm still, like I said, I'm still going to look at it neutral, check both sides. But yeah, there's nothing on the books right now. And, outside of just talking about it. And I certainly don't mind, discussing it. So,
yeah. Sean?
No, I think that's a pretty good answer. I guess it's something up for debate. We did talk about how, Clay and I both didn't really even know there were statues there in the first place. I wonder how many Mississippians actually even knew that.
That's a good point because I guarantee you 95% of the people don't know who James George is.
I have no idea who that is, and I need to look that up.
I looked him up, and he's known as the Mississippi's Great Commoner.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had no idea. But I guarantee you, a lot of people probably don't even know that we even have statues up there, but every state has two. We sent ours up there in 1931. So, 70 years after the Civil War.
100 years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
90 plus years ago. Look, not to show my historical ignorance here, I, honest to God, just assumed that they were talking about at the Mississippi Capitol.
Yeah.
And then I said, well, that place is a museum sort of already.
Yeah,
I'm just not for removing stuff.
No.
Even if I don't like it.
Yeah.
It's history. Let's leave it.
My thoughts are not, like I said, just as a talk.
Yeah.
If it did get, nothing's getting changed, it would be moved to Mississippi. We still own it, and it would go to a museum. And then there has been a thought that, I kind of like the thought is, to put a time limit on it, say every 20, 30 years, do something different.
I think some of the issue.
Let every generation get their swing at this thing.
Yeah, because it was, I got asked that, well, what if this was to happen or whatever, who would I like to see up there? And I said one of the two, it'd be Elvis or nothing for me.
And the other has to be Brett Favre.
Hey, Brett Favre. Do you think Shad White wants his statue up there?
What do you mean? I want one of me and Brett.
Yeah, me and Brett. I'm going to bet you a statue of Shad and Brett up. That's what we need to replace it. I guess every Mississippi could agree on that one. I guess.
Shad and Lynn.
Shad and Lynn.
The winner of the Battle Royal gets to have their statue replace one of them.
I bet we could raise some money for that, too.
Look, here's my thoughts on it, and I gave them the other day, but just since we're talking about it, I am just tired of replacing our history with stuff, and I think that's really what it boils down to. Even the history I don't like, I am tired of replacing it. As a whatever I am, whatever version of a conservative you call me, a Barstool conservative, an America First conservative, I'm not a pro-Confederacy conservative or anything like that. I'm tired of removing our history and being told I have to respect somebody else's. Yeah. Can't we just add yours too?
Yeah. Well,
can we split the difference? Maybe take one away and put Medgar Evers or somebody there if that's what this is about. Because everybody seems to be replacing theirs with a civil rights leader. Can we find a happy medium?
Yeah, and that was, to your point. I looked at it this way. Washington D.C. is a long way from Mississippi, and is this something that affects everyday Mississippians? No. And most most haven't even been to Washington, and again, like we said, most don't even know we have statues there or who they are. So, I mean, I get it.
It's like Sean and I said when we talked about it Monday. I said, now let's talk, or Wednesday, I mean. Yeah. I said, now let's talk about something that's going to be extremely polarizing, tear both sides apart, have us slinging mud and crap all at each other that affects our day-to-day lives. Zero.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
On
Absolutely.
either side.
Yeah.
Zero.
It's a lot of virtue signaling on both sides, I think. We see a lot of that. Like it's also, I was thinking about something, too. Also, you have to look at, in terms of erasing the past, like, everybody that was involved in the Confederacy were not just evil. You know what I mean?
No.
And there's so an example of this I'm going to give you is LQC Lamar, who the law school Ole Miss was named after. Not now. They changed it to Kayat, the new one they built. But there's always been a debate about getting rid of LQC Lamar, who, by the way, after the Civil War, became a United States Senator. Then he also served on the United States Supreme Court. He's a pretty impressive Mississippian, even though he happened to be a Confederate officer. I don't think we can just because virtue of you served in the Confederacy that we have to erase you from history.
Well, at some point they're going to try to do that with Trump supporters.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that.
I
could see
already
trying.
Right. They're already trying that with Trump supporters. Like, they try to paint us all as a modern, not just the Confederacy. And I mean, the Confederacy wasn't all bad people. I mean, it's been, history has evolved this into 100% being if you were a Confederate, you were a slave-owning racist, and you're not allowed to argue that. And that's just not the way it was. And just like they tried to paint all Trump supporters as insurrectionists and try to paint us all with a broad brush, that just ain't the way it is.
Yeah, to expound
and
on
I've seen it in real time is why I have a different view of the Confederacy stuff.
Well, to expound on your point you just made, behind you is an American flag in this office. Yeah. And if you put that in your profile picture, the left will make you look like you're a racist just by having the American flag on. They don't want you to like your own country. Yeah.
So I told Sean this. I may have told you. It's like the Rush Limbaugh slippery slope gay marriage thing. It was that was my biggest reservations about changing the flag, even though I did in fact support it. And just like, it's time to move on from this. We won. We kept it the longest. Whatever your perspective is on that, it was, and we talked about this. It was in fact holding us back with economic development. Yeah. And every time people say, "Well, what's it done since it went away?" Well, it got us all the stuff we're getting. 100%. Those were huge parts of those conversations, absolutely. Whether y'all want to admit it or not. Yeah. But I do see the slippery slope aspect because, we went from gay marriage, which I wasn't diabolically against, to now we've got pride parades and guys walking down the middle of the street in bondage, drag queen happy hour, gender affirming care for kids, and it escalated. That slippery slope got slick quick. And then it's the same thing with erasing our history. It's like, well, that thing offends me so bad that it's got to go, okay, well, we'll agree with you on this. Well, then the next group, well, that thing offends me so bad, it's got to go. And is there anything sacred anymore?
It doesn't seem that way. It's always going to be something.
Exactly. And that's why I say you just got to stop it here. Yeah. Whether I give a damn about those statues or not, you got to stop it. It's like you got to tell these petulant children no every now and then. No. It ain't hard. It's one of my favorite words. No. Let's take a break. Come back, land the plane for the day. We got Fred Shanks. We got Sean Yurtkaran here in the Buy FAFO. Go get your T-shirt from Clay. BuyFAFO.com studios. We'll be right back. Welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show here with Fred Shanks and Sean Yurtkaran. We got a great call during the break. Lady will remain nameless, but she just I believe I was talking to an elder statesman from the African American community, and she said, it's nobody else's responsibility, and I hope I'm paraphrasing you right. It's nobody else's responsibility to control what I'm offended by, and my surmising of our conversation was that she didn't think those statues mattered. That it ain't nobody else's responsibility to remove something that offends her. Yeah. And I agree.
Well, that kind of goes back to our point earlier, Clay, that, most people don't even know we have statues there or who they are.
Like I said, when I heard about this, my initial reaction was, the damn place is a museum already. Leave them alone. I thought we were talking about our Capitol. It wasn't until the next day that I learned that they were up there. in my defense, I've never been to D.C. I've never been on any of these tours, been through the Capitol, none of this stuff. I didn't know there was a hall of statues. This all seems like a huge waste of money.
Yeah. Well, and you made the point off air, and you may have said it on air previously, but, I just simply got asked about it because Arkansas apparently put a civil rights leader, which is apparently that sits right next to our statues, and I got asked by the media, well, what is, how do you feel about that, and would that make you want to do something? And I said, no, I mean, that doesn't sway me one way or the other. I mean, just really nothing to it. But that's how it all got started. It was just simply just a question.
Yeah, I mean, I'm tired of our default to correcting everything Confederacy and Civil War related being automatically something from the 1960s.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of history has happened since then as well.
Yeah.
And we can move forward. Have we not had any great Mississippians in the 80s, the 90s, the 70s?
Oprah. We could put an Oprah statue in
No.
there. I mean, come on, Oprah. There you go.
Put the ankle bracelet on it, too.
Ankle bracelet. Did you do something illegal? I don't even know.
Yeah.
Well, Sean, you mentioned, Walter Payton.
Walter Payton. There you go. Put Walter Payton in there.
Yeah.
Brett Favre.
I mean, Brett, too, I guess.
I mean, I wouldn't even be opposed to Archie Manning.
Could it be Brett with a camera phone, though? The statue would be that.
With a Southern Miss jersey on, a volleyball jersey.
Yeah. Just a camera phone, sending messages.
I don't know. That whole thing didn't bother me any at all. Like, of course, Brett Favre was the first celebrity to get in trouble sending unsolicited Johnson photos.
Yeah.
That's right on brand.
Right. Yeah.
Right on brand, and clearly it worked. She wasn't offended till years later.
Yeah, right. It took her a couple. Her name's Jen Sturger. I still remember that. She now has become. Actually, she's still like a social media influencer because of all that.
Yeah, man, she got a very well built bottom.
Yeah,
I may have seen her on Instagram. I can't remember. Fred, thank you for coming in today.
Always.
We brought it down a notch or two from what you're used to. I'm disappointed you didn't wear the Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah. Oh, next time.
Next time. Sean, thank you for making it in today, man. We're really glad your mother's okay. We're praying for her safety and healing. And we will see you back Monday. Stay tuned. Great cast of characters coming up today.